It's 5:30. I now call this meeting to order. Roll call, start with trustee, no, I'm messed up now. Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Ballhorn?
Not here.
Vice Mayor Buster? Mayor White?
Here, I would check, make sure Bob wasn't here. I thought he wasn't here. All right, we'll move on to discussion items. Discussion number one, to conduct a public hearing in consideration of requests submitted by Grubbs Consulting LLC on behalf of Gary Owens to amend the zoning classifications of the tract approximately 64 acres located west of the El Reno Cemetery on 16, Township 12, North Range 7, west of the Indian Meridian in Canadian County, Oklahoma, from rural agricultural A1 to light I1. I now consider the public hearing open. All right, we basically, Matt, we took this to City Council. We had some citizens that were understanding, but they wanted to make sure everything was sewed up and corrected. Is that correct? And we wanted to make sure that everything was basically on the right path. So we asked him to, because of the time restraints, that we're trying to get Gary this closed for Gary. Yeah, and get it all done. So we wanted to get it all done. We sent it back to them. They had their regular meeting, and we're meeting specially here at 5:30 to make sure it's corrected. So the Planning Commission met, and basically the two main questions I remember were.
Well, hello, sir.
Hi, JT.
The main two questions, I think, I've stolen as much as I can. I was stretching this out. If you weren't around here, I was going to kill you.
Did you back into something?
And, no. And, not yet, I guess. The front part of Elm Street is what people are concerned with. Is that right, Matt?
Yep. So
So they took that out of the application. Is that right, Mark? Yeah. We took that out. And basically, we took that out of the equation. And so that will remain A1 right now, like it's currently zoned, farm ground like it is right now. And then we're asking for a rezone of the back. And the only question, I think, the other question everybody was asking for was access. But there will be no access allowed on Elm Street, is that correct?
To the industrial,
That's correct, to the industrial land. There won't be any access allowed. Okay? And that was I think the only complaints they had. Tom, you're
access to any houses that might be built along there.
they'll have all that. Yeah, they can have all the access they want to houses.
There's no access to the industrial.
Well, now hang on, but let me jump back in here so I don't get Nancy Wise messed up here. Right now, you can't even build a house in that land because it's zoned A1. We didn't do any zoning to that application. Right. So when they come back up and they say they want to do R1 or whatever else, then that can be addressed at that point in time with the plan.
That's right.
Is that?
Right, so you can build a house on ag.
yeah,
minimum
5 acres.
5 acres. I understand, but the 15, I go back to how he said houses. I want to make sure that, and I wasn't to that point yet. So the bottom line is you can sub that up 3 ways, basically, and have 3 entrances on there. But right now, it's zoned ag, so it falls under all the ag requirements. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So did I miss anything as far as securing like a letter or something for the easement? Have you
Well,
guys?
there's not time to get ready for that easement. He's talked to Gerald Campbell, and because that would have to go to the school, through the school and everything that he donated, there's not time to do that. There is, just to remind everybody, there's only one tax credit being issued in Canadian County. Gary has 3 pieces of property tied up with that same tax, they're going for that same tax credit. So that may or may not ever happen, but Jerry has assured us that he will work with us to get us an easement, whether it's south of that tax credit if that happens, and come up through there. We'll work with the city. We'll have to go the access on the corner. We point to this because it's easier for me. So we would have to come across this corner. So we would have to work to the city to get some easement of access to that point, right?
Yeah, but
And Gary has agreed to trade property or whatever. And even, I know there's a couple plots currently here, but if the city is interested, we could even come up on here and trade more land over here. there's options there. But we're agreeing just not to come off of
I
Elm.
was just gonna say, but the bottom line is, really, we don't know if we wanna do that or not. Now, I'm saying that, we've talked about that, because to give a little buffer zone from our deal. But once again, all we're trying to do right now is zone that property in the middle. And the clarification is that we're zoning that based on that you are going to work through the issues of getting access to that property, and access to that property cannot come off of Elm Street, period, in the story. Is that correct?
Correct.
And we can make that in a motion, and we're done. So, I mean, I can make a
Now, this
motion.
is strictly zoning, and what you're talking about on access, that's a development issue. And you can't develop here
So,
to
but
solve that
any
issue.
building
You know
permit
that,
will
yeah.
come back to your staff,
Yeah.
and the building permit
Right.
would be denied to the industrial if we showed access off of Elm Street.
And it'll be denied based on what the zoning, because we said we're not gonna allow with the access off, I can make the motion, we're not gonna allow it within the access off of Elm Street.
It's in your minutes anyway.
Sure. At least we can fight it out. What do you think? Tom, does that, I mean, your main, and you're the only one here now, but,
Yeah, I'm probably affected more than anybody here, and I've had enough business with Gary and family, and I'm very pleased with what's going on. Feel the death that they gave us another 8 or 9 acres, so it was time in with the farm back to the south. And the real key is just like it's been from day one, as long as there's not somebody coming on the street, anything on that.
and I think the only problem we had, and maybe I'm wrong, but the only calls I had and concerns were access off Elm Street and nothing across the street from them. And that gives those two barriers.
Okay, and then what about, yeah, what about, do you think you foresee needing access? I mean, you currently have there's a cutout right there off of Elm right now, right, on the property? So, would you anticipate using that for development and things of that nature? No? You don't think that you'd be developing until you actually secured the access off of Shepherd? Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and then you really cut my eyes and ears. I mean, it passed Plan Commission with one
Yeah,
denial, is that right?
that's right.
But I mean,
He's not gonna start development until he has that access point, and then so the construction would come off of Shepherd,
Okay.
not Elm.
yeah, that's the bottom line. I mean, is that right? I mean,
Yeah.
because I want to make sure,
We did-
I mean, Tracy, is that, I mean, the only complaints I heard were those complaints. Is that right, Timmy?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? Dustin, did LaDonna get a hold of you today?
Yes,
Did you send her that information?
I have it right here for her.
She didn't come today,
She didn't come.
but she was going to email it to you. Did you email, was she asked to email it to you?
Not yet.
She asked me to email it to her, and it took me a little bit too long, and I knew she was gonna be here, so I didn't email it to her, but I can.
All right, just want to make sure we covered all of our bases. Okay. Okay, any other questions?
I might make a comment that I think that the hands, and let's go to Gary for working with us over here on this. This will be a real once we get.
I want Gary Owens to come to El Reno. I mean, I think Gary Owens brings a lot to,
We don't want to live.
well, I want his wife to live over here if I am. All right, any other questions in public hearing? All right, I'm going to close the public hearing now. Close the public hearing. Now we'll move on to B, discussion, consideration, possible action on ordinance 9131, amending the zoning classification tract approximately 64 acres located west of El Reno Cemetery, south side of East Elm Avenue, part of the northwest quarter, Northeast 4, Section 16, Township 12, North Range 7, west of the Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma, from rural agriculture A1 to light I1. We want to make the motion that we approve the rezone with the condition that we make
No
sure.
access from
That
Elm.
we make sure that we're zoning this on the condition that the owner, not condition, we're owning this on the presumption that we are not allowing any access, our decision based on not allowing any access on Elm Street at all, and all access should be off of Shepherd. Is that correct? For the industrial. Well, that's the only one on the application, Nancy. I keep on, I'm just, but you Nancy Wise try to screw me up every time. That's the only one we're dealing with, 64 acres. Grubs. That's okay, I'll tell you about it later. Gary knows what I'm talking about.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Cronister?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes, motion carries. Thanks.
Thanks for having this special meeting for us.
Yeah,
Sorry I was late.
we appreciate it. Sorry you had to go through all that, but we got to go. Thanks.
Next time, change that shirt.
I was thinking more about the tie.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, move on. Number 2, discussion, consideration, possible action authorizing the filing of a notice of protest to Oklahoma Corporation Commission application 18035200016, cause number 201-77198, filed by H2O Oklahoma LLC in the drilling operation of commercial saltwater disposal well in section Southwest 4, Section 28, Township 13th, North Range 7, West Canadian County, in El Reno, or in Canadian County.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, yeah, I want to explain this though, because
I
I'm
think
not talking.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But the bottom line is, the people bought this, and they're wanting to put a wastewater salt deal, and we understand that, it's outside our limits. The only thing that we can do is, I asked to do that. We have met with this H2O.
Right.
They're very nice. They came up and they wanted to visit with us, and we did. We talked about some of the things. I want to make sure, I asked Joey Weaver with Bass Law Firm, I knew he was going to protest it, so I asked Roger to talk to him, I talked to Dan about it. My concern of being mayor is, it's just,
earthquakes.
it's so many feet from our well field, it's just on the other side of our well field. I think everything's in good faith, but if we do this protest, then it keeps us in a loop of notification, and then that way, if we have any questions along the way, or settlements, maybe them for case our wells, or to do some other things that we even talk about with them, it gives us a dog, a hunt and a fight to do that. Does that make sense? Helps us protect our investment and just make sure that we're involved with every kind of communication that goes on so we know what happens. Any other questions? And it's not our city limits, the injection well. It's outside our city limits.
We can't control it, but we can certainly go and file a protest.
And
it
if we
puts us-
don't, then we have no room to talk.
We need to know what's going on. We
Puts-
need to know
puts
what
us
they're
in
gonna
the-
do.
in
We
the
need to
best
know How
position
they're
we
gonna
can
do
be.
it, and it protects us. Any questions? All right, Bob, you got a motion of approval?
Yep.
I'll second. We'll start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ballhorn?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cronister?
I'm going to abstain from this one.
Mayor White?
Yes. Motion carries 4-1 abstention. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion.
Second.
Ryder, jump in there now next time. Second by Ballhorn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.